Yeah, we're still nailing down the date, FYI, but it's soon, because we're gonna have those, start having those consistently, just so you know. Okay?
And what exactly are they?
It's where we all get up in the prospecting pit, and us managers, brokers kind of tie in with you and help you prospect whatever it is you're going to prospect. Just listed, just sold, FISBOs, expireds, all of those things.
So Rick is right behind you when you're making a
Yeah,
phone call.
I'm like, say this, do this, come on!
So much.
What were you thinking?
And the person on the other side's going,
What is that guy with no voice?
click.
I'm trying to wake up.
Is that Guido the Slayer right here in the background?
That's awesome.
Hey, thunderstruck. Get to rock and roll. Yeah, those ladies right there. Grab it. Let's see if I can get through this. You ready? Okay, self-confidence formula. First, I know that the ability to achieve the outline and the purpose of life. Therefore, I demand myself persistent commitment, action toward attainment, and I dare not wrong for under such act. Second, I realize the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reduce itself in outward life and gradually transform itself into reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of being the person that can become, thereby creating my mind and putting it into that person. Third, I know through the principle of auto-suggestion, any desire to assist the whole of my mind. So for this issue, which is practically my heart and command of me. Therefore, I will do the most eminent statement of myself.
that was morbid.
Really?
Massive cello.
There you go. That's a little more calming. I'm gonna stink out and get some water and I'll be right back.
A gratitude journal. You just write things that you feel gratitude, stuff like that. Start your day with something positive.
And then 10 things you want.
Well, you know, we did that the other day, last week. That was good. Because I told Rick, I said, you wrote my list. Just gratitude.
So at least 10 gratitudes or around 10. And then like 10 things you'd like to see appear in your life.
Say that again.
Sorry, like 10 gratitudes and 10 things you'd like to see or not 10 into your life. 10 things you want.
This is a journal.
Yeah, it's like a big journal. I think we do it every day. Do right there. What's your thoughts?
Just trying to absorb it. It's coming.
Yeah. That's all. Yeah. Just keep it up.
That's crazy, right? Oh, gosh. Believe me, you'll notice it when it's here. It's bright,
I was waiting
big.
for it. I was
I know. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sounded like the march to greatness, didn't it? It's awesome. So, Lindsay sends her love. She couldn't be here today. And
What? I'm out of here.
I know, you would be. Look at that. It's Rick. So, you get me today. And we don't have the new book yet that we're reading. I'm not sure what it is yet. So hopefully we get cranking on that, because this is like typically, like, you know, this is our book club day. but she's asked me to run a video with Anthony Robbins in building rapport, and I've watched it a number of times, and I love it. Each time I watch it, I get something new out of it. So today, Jason's going to be doing base camp on the listing presentation, same what George did the other day in Morning Ascent. So if you want to be here at 11:30 to go through the listing presentation and get better in that, and then every Monday we're in here, we're role playing that listing presentation or whatever listing presentation you have you want to work on, yours. So look, getting into the game and practicing is what it's about. In order to become better, you have to practice daily. All the greats in history, you think about it and what they did, they practiced all the time. Those who, the difference between the good and the great is a very small line. So if you think about that, what am I going to do to get better? Practice.
Push yourself.
Push yourself. So.
That reminds me of Tiger Woods. A long time ago, he was first person on the range, last person to leave, and he was the best player in the world. And they said, "What are you doing? Are you like obsessed?" And he goes, "No, I just feel like if I'm not moving forward, they're catching up to me too fast."
Without question. Like we go over our foundation, the 3 pillars: health, relationship, money. You know, one of those fall apart, it makes it difficult, right? So the practicing helps you become better, without question. So, you know, pushing yourself that extra degree is an important thing to be doing. So, gratitudes and wins, successes, what do we got?
A couple of warmish, hottish leads from yesterday.
Nice. Door knocking?
Door knocking.
Perfect, good deal.
Just a plug for the call around. I got 2 really good for sale by owners to either present to or follow up, and those just to have the connections.
Absolutely.
They're more in the high dollar range.
700,000-800,000, huh?
Everything. Yeah, the call around's really good.
Yeah, without question.
It's a good motivator.
I think so. Yep. We're going to start having those consistently. So, yes, Kevin.
Kind of spontaneous, quick meeting yesterday with my client. We were trying to get some traction with some of the entitlements with the city. We have a 80-acre parcel under contract in American Fork over there by the Frontliner station.
Wow.
And we need to annex it into the city and do some other things. And so we met with some engineers, and then we went down to the city to get the application started. And of course, the engineer planners sent us over to a different building where the city recorder was. They were having a work session meeting. So we sat there kind of hanging out until the work session was done. And it was a kind of an internal work session for fees that the city council and the mayor and staff and everybody that I needed to talk to was right there. So as soon as the meeting was over, I made a beeline to talk to the recorder, you know, because it was now 5:15 and I didn't want to lose her going home, and my client's over there with this concept plan, the color concept plan, and he's over there showing the mayor, and you know, we talked to the city councilman, and you know, so we've got all these contacts already made before we even made the application, which is kind of fun, and they're already liking what we've done, what we're doing. The city engineer, we finally got a face-to-face. We've been emailing and everything else, and meanwhile, on the way down, my engineer contacts the city engineer, and they've worked out the annexation, and so as soon as I talk to him, the lights are going, "Oh, you're that guy," you know, and boom.
Wow.
So we have a deadline in a short period of time. We've shortened that time frame by a couple of weeks just because of what we did. Which is
Sweet.
Yeah.
So as you guys don't know who Kevin is primarily known as our land guy. This guy's really good. Experience in surveying, putting projects together. So you guys have any questions or needs on finding property and developments, here's a guy.
Yeah.
And Stephanie here and her husband are actually builders. So they build custom homes and always looking for opportunities for ground, that stuff like Kevin puts together. So, you know, network within your system.
Puzzles.
It's pieces of the puzzle, right? It all comes together and great things happen. So, good deal. That's kind of rare to catch everybody in one spot like that.
Yeah, it was kind of fun, and it
Yeah.
was, what was so cool about it is it wasn't forced. It was just,
Yeah.
it just felt so natural and flowed, and
Yeah.
you know, they were more curious about us than what we were about them, because
Yes.
we were there just to speak with the attorney, and they wanted to find out more about what we were doing.
Yes.
So it was kind of fun.
I want to point out Chris in the room. Chris is one of our great lenders over the hall here. He's really leveraging in and understands the target marketing pieces in which I launch people with and help people build their business up. So he's more than happy to meet with any of you and help you through that and answer questions around that kind of stuff. So be looking for our partners in the business. They can really make your life a lot easier and help your prospecting and different things much, much easier. So Chris, thanks for being here, being part of that. So any other wins, successes, gratitudes, victories? Okay.
I got one that
Perfect.
was done, though I canceled it.
Okay.
It was reinstated, so,
Really?
yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
You're in this business long enough, get used to that, right? That's awesome when you can actually get something and keep it back together without questions.
and it's still my first one, so so that was really good.
Yeah, no, to get that kind of education from the beginning is awesome. So, awesome, that's great. Any others? Okay, rapport. What can you tell me about rapport? What does it mean to you?
Tony Robbins would tell you it's more important than closing.
Okay, that's fascinating you say that, because that's what we're going to be watching. And this is a great video. I'm a big advocate of Tony Robbins. I love his stuff. The guy really understands how to get in the nuts and bolts of things. But rapport can change your world. I've always asked myself, how am I showing up in your life, Stephanie, to make you respond the way you do? Or Leon. And by the way, this is Leon, guys, who are he's looking at our company to maybe come and join us and be part of us. So treat him nicely. When he's here, then you can start beating on him.
He's kind of big, he's kind of
From
blocking
where,
my view.
you know?
As Kevin says, at 6'5".
That's a first.
Yeah, right.
I'm used to small people around here.
Yes. So, you know that rapport is a piece you should be thinking about all the time. Look, we fall in love with somebody because of the way they make us feel about ourselves. That's a real key in our lives. Why did I fall in love with my wife? A, she's very good looking. B, she's a really good cook. C,
That helps.
yeah, it really helps. C, the way she made me feel about me. Isn't it interesting how we look at somebody until they start talking to you and you're like, wow, you're a beautiful person. Greg.
There's an older movie called The Patriot with Mel Gibson.
Love that.
There's a part of the movie where the American troops are really down and out. They're
Mhm.
beat to heck. And then Mel comes riding up on a horse with the flag, and he made them feel good about themselves.
Yes.
And boom, they allowed him to lead after that point. And you're right, it's how they feel about themselves.
It is, and I want to point something, I hope you're okay with this, Vlad, but this morning, he was role-playing. And those of you who were here, he turns to me and goes, I can't say that. I said, why? Well, because I'm not full-time. But you're getting full-time results. So if you're getting full-time results, are you full-time?
Yeah.
So, but it's really based on what he believed about himself, right?
He's true blue honest.
He is, and that's a quality that's incredible. But what I want to do is make sure that how you feel about yourself is 100% accurate. You're by far the best agents in the world because you're here. And the fact that you're practicing and you're getting better. And here's a guy that can actually take your property to an international market better than anybody. Purely because he speaks what, 3 languages?
2.5.
2.5. I barely speak a half. So, you're way ahead. So my point is, it's about how we feel about ourselves too, and how we show up in somebody's life. If we're down and we're feeling bad, pick yourself up. You're worth so much. And to think about what you're about and how you're changing lives. If you can change a person's life in a few minutes, is that better than somebody taking an hour of driving you nuts? It's not about the time. It's about how you're showing up. And rapport helps build that. So I want to get into this because it's a little bit longer of a video. And he has so much good stuff that he covers. And I want to make sure we get through this. And if we have any time left, we'll discuss what it is, what it's about. Somebody want to grab the lights?
Power. Earlier today we said anything you want to achieve, anything you want to learn, master, experience, there's somebody out there who has life experience, the understanding, the network, the capital, the thing you need to be able to achieve it. But they're not going to give you what they want, or they're not going to give you what you want rather need until you first give them what they want and need. And you're never going to find out what they want and need until you first get in a relationship of rapport. If you don't do that, you're never going to learn anything. Rapport is power. What is a relationship of rapport? Rapport means total responsiveness between people. When someone's totally responding to you, if you're totally responding to them, you're in rapport. There's that connection, that spark that happens in certain communications or relationships. Now, everyone wants to create rapport, or have it, but most people only get rapport with people who are like whom? Themselves, and they lose with everybody else, which means you've got a very limited world. So we want to take it to a different level. So let's say, for example, if I said to you right now, guys, I want you to go out to a local restaurant or bar, and I want you to meet somebody, and I want you to develop rapport with them, a connection with them. How many feel like you do that? No problem. Say aye. And if you're not raising your hand, you're probably selling yourself short. Of course you could. How would you do it though? You walk in this restaurant or bar, you meet somebody, and you engage in a conversation by asking a few what? Questions. Now, is it possible to ask a few questions and have a conversation go just die? Is that possible? Yes or no? So questions don't create rapport. Questions are a tool we use to dig for something. What are you digging for when you ask these questions? You're trying to find something in what? That's right. So write your notes. Rapport is created by a feeling of commonality. Rapport is created by a feeling of commonality. Rapport is created by a feeling of commonality. When we feel like we have something in common with someone, there's a spark. Now, here's the problem. If rapport is created by a feeling of commonality, most people try to get rapport by using words. But you want to learn something. What percentage of our communication skills are words? What percentage? 7%, which means you need to have 93% of your skills. Which is why most people look at rapport with words and with people. What do you do? Walk in a restaurant or bar and go, hi, what's your name? Where are you from? Why are you here? The person says my name's I'm from Iraq, I'm a terrorist, I'm here to kill people. They go, amazing, me too. No. See, words don't always work, do they? But there is something that always works to get rapport, and it's something called matching and mirroring. Matching and mirroring. Now, matching and mirroring came about 35 years ago when we've all done matching and mirroring our whole lives. But the person who pointed out was Milton Erickson. Dr. Erickson was a genius. What he did was he was a medical doctor, but he also was a psychologist and a hypnotherapist, probably the best that ever lived. And people who come to see him, who try to change everything, anywhere else in their life, nothing at work, they see him for one session, he'd handle it. And the reason is because he understood something. He understood that you have both a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. And he knew the subconscious is more powerful. It's the part that makes your heart beat 100,000 times a day without having to think about it. So he knew if he could influence your subconscious mind, he could change anything, and that's what he did. But here's how he did it. He had polio, so he was in a wheelchair. So he spent an enormous amount of time studying people. And he began to notice something about human beings. That when human beings got together, if they got in rapport, relationship with responsiveness, they became like each other in a variety of ways. What he called they mirrored each other. Now, I've taught this for 25 years, so I'm sure you've heard of it. And I've written it in my books, and it's been taught in a variety of areas now. But it's one thing to know it intellectually or to understand it. It's another thing to know it when you're doing it. That's what I want to get you to do tonight, so you have a real experience of it that you won't forget. But here's the basis of it. People like people who are like whom? Themselves. And people don't like people who are not like themselves. To be more specific, write this down. People like people who are like themselves or who are like how they would like to be. People like people who are like themselves or are how they would like to be. People like people who are like themselves or how they would like to be. So question, I'd like you to think of someone you really, really like a lot. And then if you would, raise your hand if this person is either like you or like how you want to be. If that's true, raise your hand and say, I. Of course, that's why I like them. Now, think of someone you don't like. And I'm sure you like everyone, but if you once were an unspiritual person and felt these things, someone you don't like. Raise your hand if they're not like you or they're not like how you want to be. If that's true, raise your hand and say, I. And that's the opposite. People don't like people who are not like them or are not like how they want to be. That's the bottom line of it. So this concept, Erickson noticed, he used it the following way. Watch me. If you came to see Dr. Erickson, instead of talking to you intellectually and trying to get through to you, he'd go right to the jugular by getting your nervous system connected to him, getting rapport. So if you came to him and you said, Dr. Erickson, I don't know, this is a waste of time. I've tried everything, and I don't know, I think I should just go. He would do this. He'd go, I'm sure it looks that way on the surface, but you haven't tried this, so you haven't tried everything, and I think you should stay. The person would go, something about this guy I like. You know, he's not over the top, you know what I mean? He's like really real. There's just something about him that feels down home and real to me, right? If you keep this in, there's a Dr. Erickson, I'm trying, there's a waste of my time, I'm out of here. You sit out. You haven't tried everything, you've not done this before, you're staying right here. He goes, hey, I like this guy, he's got some spunk, kick ass, maybe you can do something. See, he became like the people he was communicating with, and what it was, whatever they put out, he sent the same message back, like biofeedback, and then trained them to him. So when he then told their unconscious what to do, their brain just did it. That was his power. Now we all do this naturally. If you want some fun, go out tonight to a singles bar and watch people when they first meet. And then you can see when the rapport happens. If they finally sit down and they'll start to lean in the same direction, they'll start nodding their head at the same tempo. If one's tapping their foot, often you'll see the other one tap their foot. The volume and tone of their voice will start to mirror if they're in rapport. If they're out of rapport, you'll see them direct opposites of this nature. Now, if you want to be effective then, mirroring is so easy. We do it naturally, but here's the problem. Most people wait till they have enough words in common, and then they put the voice in common and the body in common. But words are only 7%, they don't work all the time. And by the way, do we judge people in a matter of seconds by their style, yes or no? That's right. Write this in your notes. Style is more important than substance initially. Style is more important than substance initially. That sounds terrible, but it's true. Style is more important than substance initially. Now, notice I say initially. If you don't have any substance, it's not going to last. If you got lots of substance and no style, and people never hear a word you say, no one ever wants to know what you believe. I'll give you an example. How many of you have dealt with somebody whose tone of voice alone drove you up a wall and you couldn't listen to anything they said? They had like dentist-roll tonality. How many of you have dealt with somebody that say, I? Okay? So that style gets in the way of substance. Now, let's give an example. Let's say you and I want to mirror someone. We want someone to feel connected to us. And we're going to do it on the phone. What are some aspects of the voice that you can mirror that would make them unconsciously immediately feel connected to you? What are some aspects? You tell me. Okay, tone of voice, as we just said, is a perfect one. Because if you're talking like this, if you're talking like this, and they say, well, I don't know, what do you think? You're not going to feel very comfortable through time. Tone of voice is huge. If you hear someone's tone of voice, they will feel connected to you and not even know why. What else besides tone of voice could you mirror on the phone? Okay, tempo. What kind of person talks in this particular place like I'm talking right now? What kind of people talk in this particular place? What part of the country doesn't talk in this place? Where? What part of the country? Where? And New York could be one. New York could be a good example. How do people talk more like this? Feel about those fast-talking city slickers. Do they trust them? No! They don't even know how to say the word dog. How does a fast-talking person feel about a slow-talking person? When they're everything, there he goes. Well, what? We're going to see this mismatch between two people. Right? What else besides speed? Volume. Loud talking people. Who do they like? They love loud talking people. They know you're a real man, you're a real woman too. Who else likes loud talking people? Deaf people like loud talking people. But how do quiet talking people feel about those loud talking people? They're obnoxious, aren't they? And of course, intelligent people talk like you and I do, don't they? Do we judge people in a matter of seconds by their volume, by their tone, by their tempo, yes or no? You better believe we do. What else could you mirror on the phone? Terminology, key words. There's certain words people use again and again. If you sell real estate, and somebody comes in and says, I'm looking for a magnificent home, do you want to say, oh, I have a fantastic place to show you? No, and I had this experience myself once. And so I'm looking for this, no, I got a fantastic place. Fantastic and magnificent may be the same to you, but I guarantee they aren't for the other person. If you mirror their words, they will feel heard, they will feel understood, and they will also feel you're as smart as they are. What else besides words, tone, tempo, volume, accent? Well, only if you really have that accent. Because you try to duplicate it, it's not really your accent, you're going to break the rapport, right? What about the body? What could you mirror in the body if you were there in person? What could you mirror? Posture is very powerful. They're really upright, you're upright. They're more relaxed, you're more relaxed. What else? Gestures. Watch this. If somebody's talking, and people are funny, when they're making important points, people have idiosyncratic gestures. Idiosyncratic means gestures that are all their own. So if you're talking to this guy and he says, I don't think so, I think we're going to do this, and he makes this funny little gesture when he's talking about what he really wants to do. If you turn back to him and say, you know, that's a great idea. Can I ask you a question though? What if you do this instead? You make that same little motion with your hand, and look at people like, oh, friend. You think I'm kidding? You go out tonight at dinner, and you find somebody who's on an angle to you or in front of you. Don't even look at them. Just mirror them for 5 to 10 minutes. They reach for the glass, reach for the glass. The glass is empty, no one's going to know. Just reach for the glass. They bring it up, they bring it down, bring it down. They reach for the fork, reach for the fork. 5 to 10 minutes. 5 minutes usually, 10 minutes max. After you've done this for 5 to 10 minutes, you want some fun? Reach for your glass and watch what they do. They'll reach for it like that. It's called pacing and leading. It's also known as entrainment. Many of you know that if you go to an old clock shop where they have those old grandfather clocks where they have the little pendulum, that once they wind, those pendulums start out different and they all end up in sync. It's called entrainment. Women know this, but most men don't. So I'll just share this with you. Women have the ability to be like clocks with other women. When women hang out together, men, they literally end up having their periods at the same time. So that all the men are crazy during that time. Is it true, ladies? Yes or no? If they're in rapport, their periods become in sync. So if women's periods become in sync, you can get rapport with a stranger across the room. And all you got to do is mirror them for 5 or 10 minutes and make a change, right? And it'll make it happen, all right? How many follow? So, what else besides posture could you mirror in the body? What else? Gestures, we already said. What else? Facial expression. Most of us, if someone's telling you a story, they're like really into their story, and they're making these faces. Do you sit look at them like this? No, you look back and make the same stupid look backward. What about eye contact? A lot of business people and salespeople have taught a total lie. They've been talking like if you're really truly going to influence someone, You must look directly into their eyes and not break eye contact for 45 straight minutes. This way they know you really need it. There's only one problem with that. The problem is, people like who? Themselves. So if you get somebody who just stares in your eyes and doesn't blink for 45 straight minutes, it's going to freak you out. What kind of person stares in your eyes and doesn't break eye contact? Aliens, that's who. Most humans look away, right? So if they look away, give them a break and look away. Don't make them crazy. Now, if you meet somebody who locks eyes with you and doesn't break eye contact, you lock eyes right back, you keep going for 45 minutes, they'll know you're an alien too, it'll blow the world. What else? What else besides eye contact, facial expressions, gestures, posture? Come on, what else? Breathing. Breathing is very powerful, one of the most powerful. If you breathe at the exact same pace as another person, you will feel what they are feeling, period. But you're not breathing from the same location, the same tempo. And breathing is magnificent because it really hooks you to this person. How many of you can think of a time in your life when you were breathing at the same pace as another person and you felt really close for some reason? Anybody think of a time like that? See, I used to do a lot of sexual therapy for couples, and when you have people in this area, you go to practice, because people pay anything, they'll fly anywhere to get this part of their life handled. So I went with a 6-month waiting list, no exaggeration, I mean every single day book, and people would be calling me based on referrals because I help their friends, and they'd be like, I gotta see you now. And I'm like, I got a 6-month waiting list. Oh, look, I'll pay you for your lunchtime, I'll buy you dinner. I'm like, look, how about I refer you to somebody I've trained who wants to be my friend? No, it's gotta be you. So here's how I would deal with it. I would say, okay, I will give you one of my lunches if you take an assignment I give you, but first you got to answer some questions honestly. Here's the first question. When you make love, do you breathe in unison while you're making love? And invariably the guy would go, huh? And I'd say, let me explain. You're here telling me about all these things you're upset with each other about. And you talk about these things till you're blue in the face, but the real problem is you don't feel connected, you don't feel loved. And I said, you don't have that feeling of total oneness with each other. If talking more about this is not going to change it. So if you really want to change this, I suggest you do this. And if you do what I'm telling you, still need me, I'll give you one of my lunches. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go home, I want you to make love for an hour and a half minimum. And while you're doing it, I want you to breathe in unison the entire time with each other. Because what happens is you feel totally connected as one. Out of, who knows, 3 to 4 dozen people I asked to do that, only one person ever called us back and wanted to be able to do a session. Because the bond is there. So try it. Not now, later this evening. Plus, the great thing about hearing somebody's breathing, it's very subtle. No one's going to jump out of the chair and say, would you stop hearing my breathing? We're not going to notice. So you got breathing, you got posture, you got gestures, you got facial expressions, you got eye contact. What else could you mirror? Come on, use your brain. I know the answer. I want to see if you can come up with it. Come on. What else could you mirror? Proximity. What does proximity mean? Proximity means everybody has a certain amount of space that they need to be comfortable. And it's different for every single person you're going to meet in your life. So if I come walking up here like this, and I start walking, let's say, along here, and I walk up to this lady here, she's comfortable right now. If I come here, I'm right on the edge of her comfort zone. Am I right? You can see it in her face. How do I know? Because the muscles are not like, face went, it all tighten and she stopped breathing. That's a clue. Now that doesn't mean she doesn't like to come closer, but that's the first moment of her starting to feel impact. If I come right back to here, there we go. Now she's breathing again. How many can see the difference? Can you see it? You can see all of a sudden she's breathing. So this is more comfortable. What's the difference? Here versus here. How many got somebody do this where they get this close to your face and you just want to punch them? How many have this experience? And they almost always have bad breath too, don't they? So when somebody, and all the people like that, they get this close to your face, yes or no? Now if you hold back though, you just broke rapport because that's what they need to feel good. So you gotta like hang in there with those people. So it's different for every person that you meet. So how do you know? Do you just guess? No, you use your sensory what? Acuity, your acute sensitivity to see what's the impact. Oh, I'm getting here, is this working? Oh, I can come closer or not, where is it? And it can change too. So we can have initial reaction, then they can let you closer. But you pay attention, because if you don't do this, breaking rapport in this area, people don't even think when you're in their space. And everybody's got different space. Who here freaks out when somebody gets too close. There's some people I'm sure in this room that are total freakouts about this. You know it? In the black? What's your name? Lisa, why don't you come down? Come on, give her a hand. Come on, give her a hand. Lisa, come on down here. Come on down here. Run down here, Lisa. Run down here. Run down here. Run down here. Oh, it's your face. Oh, no, that's the face. See, she's going to body block me. She knows that, you know, oh, we can hit bodies, that's okay. The face, watch what happens when you get in the face. So are you enjoying the seminar? That's been your favorite part. Not this part. Where are you going?
He got a huge head, doesn't he?
Now,
Just a huge.
notice, when you get too close to her face, did you see that? I saw that instant reaction. Okay? She really pulls back. She snaps to the side. Because most people have like a force field who have this experience. Hers is more just the face. If you got closer to her chest or something like that, they'll do other things. This kind of person backs off. But most people are more subtle. If you get too close, here's what they do. They start kind of, you see them as they're talking to you, they're kind of waving back and like forth. If you notice their ass is moving them further and further back from you. Right? Or they'll do this. They'll turn sideways. Because what does that do? It creates a sense of space. Okay? So everyone's different. Now hers is not the body, and she's going to be playful now here with this as well. But the face normally is something for her that's an effect. Now she's going different. She says, okay, I'm comfortable with you. Give her a hand. Thank you very much. Now, there's another one that's critically important, and that's touch. Now, you get more poor by touching some people than by anything you could ever say. But again, you got some sensory acuity. You can't go up and go, ooh, it's like a touch your hand, and I love your hair, really good, that's really cool, really good. You do that, you can get killed. But he's a nice man, so you can kill him. So we gotta notice how the man shakes hands. Like, he shakes hands and puts one hand on top of the other. Do you notice this? He reaches over, I shook his hand, and he brings the other hand on top like this. And when he does it, some people, when they shake your hand, they like squeeze it, see if they can break a few of your blood vessels, you know, just to show they're a real man. Other people, they got that fish handshake and that, but if they fish you, you gotta fish them back. Yeah, here we go, fish, right? Because that builds rapport. But in this case, it's like boom, boom. Right? You get more connection rapport with him with that touch than anything you could ever say. Thank you. So notice, how does a person touch somebody? Like even if it's in business, notice how the businesswoman or man touches their assistant in a non-sexual way. And just notice, if they come along and he comes by and he goes, thanks a lot, Tony, and hits me like this, 3 times on the shoulder. And I come back and I say, thank you, John. I get more rapport by that touch than by anything that I could say to him. So touch and proximity are huge, huge. Now you might say, well, this is interesting, Tony, but what are you suggesting? Are you saying something like, okay, they sit down, I sit down. You don't have to mirror everything someone does to have rapport. It's not like they lift their leg, you lift your leg, they lean forward, you lean forward, they sit back, you sit back. You don't have to do that. Although, believe it or not, you can do it a lot of people not even notice. But for example, you can rapport just with the leg position and maybe the tone of voice. Because physiology is 55% of communication. If you're sitting there, let's say you cross your leg like this. Can I cross my leg like this while we're talking? Yes or no? It'll feel comfortable to you. So you start bouncing your foot like this, back and forth. Can I bounce my foot at the same tempo? If I do, you'll feel totally connected to me. We do it at the same tempo. And by the way, I can do this for a while, and then if I don't like it, I can slow it down, and you'll slow yours down. And that's pacing and leading again. But if you do this, if they cross their leg and never uncross, you don't have to uncross the moment they uncross. Wait till you go to say something and say, you know what? Because when you go to speak, speaking requires a change of physiology, and no one will ever notice what you're doing. Right? Very unique. Now, it is true if, they lean forward, you say, well, right, they lean forward, I lean forward, they lean back, I lean back, they cross the leg, I cross my leg, they pick the nose, I pick my nose! Exactly. No, you don't do everything. And if you start going like this, with your beard, you start going, after about 20 minutes, you go, what's wrong with you? But you'd be surprised. You can mirror people, and you know almost everything they're doing, and they rarely, if ever, notice it, right?
Awesome. We're way over. Sorry about that. Somebody grab the lights. Thanks for attending today. let's do some closing affirmations. We'll wrap this thing up. Kevin,
Yeah.
want to come up and lead us in closing affirmations?
Sure.
So I can save my voice for the rest of the day? Go ahead and get them started, I'll get some music going.
I succeed in knocking my goals. I'm an optimist. I like talking to people. I know what's important to me. I've heard people's names. I have dated where I call. I'm passionate about real estate. I know consistency is my greatest tool. I like asking my person listening. I enjoy reading for my soft skills. My policy, my own interaction goals. I focus my week today. My presentations are persuasive. I improve my usage. I'm happy. I love prospecting to keep my business. I see my future costs. I know what I like. I'm very motivated. I can trouble my thinking. I believe in me. I feel outstanding. I need my beliefs off today's baby. I get things done. I'm an excellent service. I feel well paid. I connect to people. People love me. I love others. I'm disciplined about my daily schedule. I cross my days. I set up my routine daily. I'm a master persuader. I achieve my goals. I'm a real estate rockstar. I'm passionate about my life. I navigate with purpose. I'm confident in my skill skills. I know my destiny. I'm healthy strong. I'm powerful. I'm unstoppable. I keep talking and trying. I know how I am. Yes! Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
George St. Pierre. He's a mixed martial artist. He's I was sitting in the back of the room yesterday and you were up front. We started talking. And I've never met the guy. He's a famous fighter.
Oh.
But is
yeah, I don't
French
follow.
Canadian accent? Where's your accent?
Yeah, no, I'm Brazilian.
Brazilian? Oh wow. You sound identical to these French Canadian.
They do sound alike.
A lot alike.
I never realized that.
Language. You said
I don't fight.
George said